Wednesday, everybody, and welcome into the Early Edge in 5. I'm Grace Remington, and before we get to the picks, please like this video, subscribe to the SportsLine YouTube channel, or if you're listening later, please subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast, and go ahead and jump in the live chat while you're at it. Let's bring in the stars of the show, because we have an NBA game to discuss. We've been waiting, it feels like 2 weeks, guys. Frickin' Frack are here, EC and Specty, and one of the best in the biz, Propstarz. All right, NBA Finals Game 3 tonight in Miami, guys. I'll go over the side and total first. Denver opened as a 1.5-point favorite. That line immediately shot up to 2.5. And as of this morning, the Nuggets, 3-point favorites, receiving the majority of the tickets and the handle. The total has bounced around a bit, but it's back to the opening line of 214.5. The tickets are split right down the middle, but 94% of the money is on the under. So let's get to some props now. And Specty, love the one you got for us today.
Yeah, I'm going to go over to Michael Porter Jr. over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -129. SportsLine AI is predicting 26 points, rebounds, and assists for MPJ tonight. In the last 10 games that he's played in, he's gone over this number in 8 of them. He's averaged 14 points, 9.1 rebounds, and 1.9 assists. In the last game that he just played in, he only had 11 points, rebounds, and assists. And that's because he was having an awful 3-point shooting night, and he was taken out because if he's not providing offensive value, he's a liability on defense. I expect him to regress more towards his mean of minutes played and closer to that points, rebounds, and assists number to go over tonight.
Yeah, the expected data certainly leans that way. All right, Proppy, happy to have you here on a Wednesday. You've been absolutely crushing it in those NBA prop streets. What's your record in these playoffs?
49-26.
49-26. And that, folks, that is why when Proppy says we fade one of the best players nationwide, we go ahead and follow him on that fade. So, Proppy, who are we fading today?
We are going to fade none other than Jimmy Butler for the almost third consecutive game, under 25.5 points. Listen, Grace, I think at this number, he is just a fade for a number of reasons. First and foremost, I don't think that Jimmy Butler is 100% healthy. That ankle just doesn't look like he has the same lift and explosiveness that he typically does when he's 100%. He's such a brilliant basketball player, however, that he's still able to make a huge impact, both as a playmaker. We've seen him just be really outstanding, getting his teammates involved. The assist totals have been climbing throughout this series, coupled with his defense on Jamal Murray was a huge factor in the Heat winning game 2. And then we also factor in Aaron Gordon's defense on him. Aaron Gordon has been so phenomenal holding Jimmy Butler in this series. When he has been on him, he has done such a tremendous job with his length, his lateral quickness, his size has all given Jimmy a ton of problems. Jimmy's been able to score a little bit down the stretch, but Gordon has just done a superb job limiting him. All of Jimmy's points, too, have pretty much come with Gordon off of him as well. So I just think we're going to see a lot of Aaron Gordon. I just think 26 points is a huge ask for Jimmy at this stage. So give me under 25.5 points until Jimmy can prove he can do it.
All right, I like it. By the way, Proppy also has a K-Prop article out on SportsLine. You can read it several times a week. So in his honor, I got to go with a K-Prop of my own today. And I'm going to the Twins-Rays game for Pablo Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts. I have this number at 5.9, going under the line 60% of the time, which translates to odds of -150. Now, if you look up his basic stats, yes, Pablo Lopez having a great year, but he's running hot. This is actually an outlier year for him, and that's thanks to his new slider, sweeper, whatever you want to call it. It's his second most used pitch. He's throwing it 23% of the time, and most teams haven't caught up to it yet. But you want to look at the competition. Who has he faced so far? He's had the White Sox twice, the Royals twice, the Guardians, and the Marlins. All of those teams bottom 9 in the league against the slider. So his strikeout numbers are inflated in that way. You know who's great at hitting sliders? The Dodgers, who he only had 4 strikeouts against. You know who's even better against sliders? The Rays, who he faces today. They're one of the most disciplined teams in the league. Their strikeout percentage, 22.3%, a little bit above average. They walk 9.4% of the time. Both of those are 8th best in the country. Their OPS, second highest against righties, and their weighted runs created plus, the best in the league. So this one, could be a little sweaty, but great situational spot for Pablo Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts. Proppy, do I have your approval?
That is how you give a take, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable, Grace. That was amazing information.
Let's go. And Alicia, you can parlay it. It's okay. I will give you permission. EC, speaking of parlays, I think we have one coming. But first, I must say, the Maestro spot was earned today. 2-0 last night, and you're going back to the well with one of your MLB props.
Yes, I am, Grace. 4-0 in MLB props this week. We've somewhat turned it around, so we're going to keep it going here. Now, Big Cheesy in the chat has an under for me, or I'm saying under for the word of when you put picks together. So we're going to try to hit the under 6.5 today. So we'll see how I do in this. All right, number one, Luis Arias. We hit this last night, over 1.5 total bases. It was even money last night, minus 120 today. So he's 12 of his last 17 in his last 4 games, 8 singles and 4 doubles. He leads the league in hitting at 401, hitting 410 at home. 26 multi-hit games, including 7 of his last 9. Only struck out 11 times in 212 at-bats, which is phenomenal. And oh, by the way, he happens to be facing the worst pitcher in the league in Jordan Lyles of the Royals tonight. All seems like a good formula to throw in your bets. Okay, another prop that I like to throw in with this bet is Noah Syndergaard over 2.5 earned runs allowed at minus 145. Now, he left one road start due to injury after the first inning. In the other 4 road games he's pitched in, he's gone over this total, and some very easy. You know why? Because he has a 9.90 road ERA, and the Reds lineup, especially now with Ellie De La Cruz hitting cleanup, the super prospect that just got called up last night, it is potent. I think Syndergaard gets torched tonight. Another high-scoring game in Cincinnati, so we're going to roll with the over there. And then, you know what? Fine, I can say it now. We hit this last week. We hit it 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. It's the top 20 parlay in golf this week. Shane Lowry, Tommy Fleetwood, and Corey Connors at plus 600 on FanDuel. Now, you can find this under tourney specials, and the reason I like to do it this way is because ties are included. If you made your own parlay on FanDuel, for example, ties not included, you lose money if your guys tie in certain scenarios, so we don't want to mess around with that. Why do I like Shane Lowry? Top 20 in his last 3 in this event, and 3 of his last 5 PGA Tour events this year, he's been in the top 20. Tommy Fleetwood, 6th in his only appearance in Canada, top 20 in 3 of his last 4 events. Corey Connors is a native Canadian. He has the most strokes gained on approach, which I think is going to be a key stat this week in the field over his last 14 rounds, and he was 6th in Canada last year. Now, they rotate these courses when they do this tournament, so it's somewhat fresh data, but we're going to take a shot at this top 20 parlay. And yes, Big Cheesy, that's only twice that I've used the word.
I'm impressed, and I was hoping you wouldn't see that comment from Big Cheesy. Rebecca, Grace making a pick, stats, EC giving a pick. I'm just feeling good.
That's right. That's how we do it.
I really wish people could actually see our pre and post meetings there, because that's literally exactly what we say every day.
Does anyone listen to my logic? Probably not. You want to hear the logic from the smart people, the other 3 on screen, and then I'm here, right?
You're here for the entertainment.
Exactly.
We need that balance, the educate and entertain. All right, let's get to the recap. Specty starting us off in NBA props with Michael Porter Jr. over 22.5 PRA at minus 129. Proppy with a fade of Jimmy Butler going under 25.5 points at minus 127. I got Pablo Lopez under 6.5 strikeouts at plus 110. EC, this is a lot to read. I'm going to try it. Yep. Luis Arias over 1.5 total bases. We got it yesterday. Let's do it again. Noah Syndergaard over 2.5 earned runs allowed at minus 145. And we got a top 20 parlay. It's Wednesday after all for the RBC Canadian Open. Shane Lowry, Tommy Fleetwood, and Corey Connors. All right, the Early Edge will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. and 4 o'clock Eastern for Specty, Proppy, and DC. I'm Grace Remington. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the pay window.